Hey everybody, Qroo here. In today's video, I'm going to be comparing the words bien, which means well, and bueno, which means good. This causes some confusion for us English speakers in certain contexts, and it really comes down to how we're saying things in English. And, you know, when you're learning a foreign language, the tendency at first is to literally translate from your English, which is your paradigm language, into the new language. And as you get better at the new language, you start to learn where that's not possible. Okay, so in today's lesson, it's going to be some of that. Let's start with bien, which means well. Now, at least in American English, if somebody asks me how I am, I'm going to say, I'm good. That's what we say. We don't tend to say, I'm well. Some people do. But just regular old American English, I'm good. How's Maria? She's good. How's the situation? It's good. And because of that, when we try to translate into Spanish, sometimes we're trying to say things like bueno. We're not doing that. If somebody asks you how you are, how Sally is, how the situation is, we're always going to be using bien. And our verb is going to be estar. Estoy bien. I'm fine. ¿Cómo está María? How's Maria? María está bien. Maria's fine. And just generally speaking, when you want to say that something's okay or it's good, está bien. ¿Todo está bien? Is everything okay? Sí, está bien. It's okay. Now let's move on to another usage of bien that I don't think you're going to have too much trouble with, and that is when we're modifying a verb. You see, bien is an adverb. So when we want to say that somebody does something well, right, we're going to be using bien. So Maria writes well would be María escribe bien. María escribe bien. And if I want to say like Maria swims well, right? Why would I say that? María nada bien. María nada bien. Now, another way that we can use bien is actually to modify adjectives. And you'll see this, for example, Maria is well prepared. María está bien preparada. María está bien preparada. And another useful expression you can work into your Spanish is muy bien hecho. Muy bien hecho, which means very well done. Very well done. You can give yourself a little pat on the back when you're getting some of these right in the videos. You can be like, muy bien hecho. Muy bien hecho. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to bueno. Bueno is an adjective. It's going to have to agree in number and gender with whatever noun it modifies. So we're going to have our forms are bueno, buena, buenos, and buenas, right? Just depends what the noun is. Now, that first one up there, bueno, when it appears before a noun, it's going to drop that O. So if I want to say Mario is a good friend, I'm going to say Mario es un buen amigo. See, the O gets dropped. Mario es un buen amigo. But if I'm going to say Maria is a good friend, I have to make sure everything agrees, right? María es una buena amiga. Everything has to agree in number and gender there. Before I move on, I just want to talk about the placement of the adjective in those particular sentences. It's coming before the noun. I know, well, it depends where you're at on, your learning curve to learn Spanish. You could be like, okay, I thought adjectives always follow the noun. When it gets into the placement of adjectives, there's little nuances. I have a very detailed video on it in my learning group, the Qroo Spanish Crew, where I go into a lot of depth. It's more of an intermediate level. But just briefly here, one thing to remember is when an adjective follows a noun, a lot of times you're talking about an inherent characteristic of that particular thing that makes it different from other things. For example, if I'm going to say a red house, I'm going to say a house red. Una casa roja. That adjective is an inherent characteristic. We all agree it's red. It's differentiating that house from other houses. That's why it's there. Now, when you will put an adjective before a noun, and there's different reasons we'll do it, but one of them is because it's our subjective opinion about this thing, right? This is our belief or our opinion about this. So this fits perfect for things like a good friend, because that's our subjective belief. Hey, it's a good friend. This is my opinion of this person. Es un buen amigo. He's a good friend. Now we could say, es un amigo bueno, but the nuance is a little bit different. I'm already like, okay, is this like, are we focusing on like, this is just a really good person or something else? It's slightly different there. If you want to get more into the nuances of adjectives and the placement, like I said, I have a really good video over in the Qroo Spanish Crew. I have a lot going on over there. I'll put a link to it in the description section of the video. Love to see you over there. something that comes up a lot with bueno and bien and things like that is going to have to do with food. So if you want to say that the food is good, okay, and we're talking about this particular food that we're eating, how it tastes, how the temperature, if this is good, we're going to be using the verb estar, and we're going to be using bueno or buena, whatever is going to fit the noun. So if I just say la comida, then it's going to have to be buena. La comida está buena. The food is good. The food is good. ¿Está buena la comida? Is the food good? Sí, está buena. Now, if we're talking about something that's masculine, then we have to make sure it's bueno in that case. For example, we ask about the ice cream, and you want to say, the ice cream's good. The ice cream you're eating now tastes good. El helado está bueno. El helado está bueno. You got that so far? Okay. Now, does that mean you never say, está bien? You can. It's not necessarily a compliment, I'll tell you that. If somebody's like, hey, ¿qué tal la comida? How's the food? Está bien. That's like, it's okay. It's a lot better to say, está buena. Of course, you could say other things, está rica, está deliciosa, but that's a whole nother lesson. We're just sticking on bueno, buenas, right? And bien today. So we're using estar when we're talking about how something tastes in the moment, and we're going to use ser when we're going to talk about how it is in general. For example, if I say, el café de México es bueno. Mexican coffee, or the coffee from Mexico, is good. I'm talking about, in general, it's good quality, it's good coffee. If I say, el café de México está bueno, I'm talking about this coffee, how it tastes right now. Hey, the Mexican coffee tastes good, está bueno. That's the general breakdown with bien and bueno. I've hit a lot of the highlights and things that English speakers have trouble with. I hope you found the lesson useful. If you did, just do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. And until next time, hasta luego.